This podcast contains some magical adult language. Listener discretion is advised. And sorry, Mom.
You are not Mickey Mouse, you're a rat.
Rat smack! Besides, they're tourists. What do they know?
Ooh, welcome to Rat Castle, a progressive chat about theme park magic without the pixie dust. I am your host, Nathan Hartman, in 3D. Well, in 3D here. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, we are now on a visual podcast as well. So if you are listening to this on podcasting, we are also doing this via YouTube. And so you can see our beautiful faces. And those beautiful faces include Dave Cobb. Hello, Dave.
Hello, live from Los Angeles. Hi, everybody.
Yeah, live from the La Brea Tar Pit
Live, not really live. Yeah, close.
Alive.
As alive as I'm gonna be at 54. This is all you get.
Yes, we just
It
went
was
to her
Dave's
birthday.
birthday.
Yes.
Thank you.
Happy birthday,
Yes.
Dave.
Happy belated
Thank you so much.
birthday.
Also with us, of course, is Janine. Hello, Janine.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm alive.
You're alive? I feel the same
Yeah.
way.
Yeah,
It's weird now, 'cause
it's
I'm-
Real.
I was like taking a sip, and I was like, ooh, I'm trying to be like sneaky, like I can be sneaky. I can't be sneaky.
Can't be sneaky.
No, there's no hiding anything
There's no
anymore.
hiding anything now, so
Nope.
this is the way it is. And then last but not least, Sarah is with us. Hello, Sarah.
Hello. How are you guys?
Good. Victoria is out. She will be. She's currently in Orlando. I believe she'll be at the beginning of the Festival of the Arts. As we tape this, it's tomorrow, and of course, it's a couple days in now. If you're listening, so she's over there doing her thing, and I don't know. Maybe we'll get a little update from her. We'll see.
Yeah.
But anyway, welcome to this new era, 2024 era of Rat Castle, as we figure out what the hell this is and how we do this. But
We've got
before we
great
get into
faces
all
for
that-
We've got great faces for radio. We really do.
We do. Come on now.
I do. Well, Dave and I do. I think this doesn't. You know, the other two, the ladies look wonderful.
The ladies
No, we
look.
all look great.
Can we just
Don't
say it for the
lie.
ladies?
We are hot.
Give it up for the ladies
Yeah.
of this podcast because they're amazing and they
Yeah.
look so freaking great. I'm so glad you're going to get your
Yeah.
flowers because
Janine.
girls, so cute.
Yeah. And I remember when I was growing up, I finally got to meet a radio DJ that I listened to, and it was one of those things where you're like, I don't know if there's ever been a radio DJ that I was like, wow, he looks like his voice.
What?
No, they
Yeah.
never do. They never do.
Yeah, your
I
brain
feel like all
turns
their
them into
voices sound
something.
So great. Okay.
Well, their voices do sound great, and then they just don't look the way you think their voice. It just doesn't match. So, but we're
you don't
like
think
so
their voice,
social.
Like, makes them a 10 out of 10.
Like in general, like physically.
Like, yeah, like you know how
Like-
like someone has like a great personality that like takes them from
Right.
like kind of ugly to like ugly hot.
Yeah, I know that's me. Yeah, thank you.
You're
Yeah,
welcome.
that's how.
You're welcome.
That's the equation my wife had to make. But and there's funny along with that. Funny works. Funny goes a long way.
Funny goes a long way.
It does.
Funny goes a long way. But where was I going with this? 2024. We had some resolutions last episode. Sarah, I believe your resolution was no date 2024, right? You're like, no, you're not going on any dates in 2024. Is that correct?
Unless they're super hot.
listen-
Was
Listen,
qualifier.
listen, y'all. Okay. Well, it's the new year. It takes a long time to change
Okay.
certain things.
Sarah, wait. It's January 11th. I wanted to check. I don't remember my days because I'm currently not in session of school.
It is
so
the 11th.
it's the 11th. It's been 11 days into 2024. How many dates have you been on in 11 days?
Like in total?
Yes, in 11 days.
Like, okay, well, I've gone out with like 4 different people. One of them I've seen twice. The other one I think I've seen 4 times. the others two I've seen once each.
Okay.
So I've been busy.
Okay.
4 dates in 11 days.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. It's,
Yeah.
how do I put this nicely? New Year's resolutions are meant to be broken, I suppose. Some people just don't break them that quickly, right?
Resolutions are for suckers. Come on now.
But
Yeah.
but be proud of me, y'all. 2 of them are teachers. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's some quality in
Okay.
there.
Okay.
I'll give you
Quality.
that.
there's
Smart.
quality.
They're
I
smart.
agree.
Yes. Yes.
What do they
are
teach?
Smart. 401ks.
Impatient.
One of them teaches music. The other one is an English teacher.
Oh, great. Perfect.
Nice. Okay. And they're hot.
Gotta love an arts degree or a humanities degree. Yeah. Go for it. Are
No
they
medium
hot?
ugly.
No, the girl.
Are they
they're
hot?
hot. They're hot,
Now,
Dave.
Sarah, the question.
Then she
though,
didn't
is-
break the resolution. She's good.
She's
No. Are
the
all of them
resolution
hot?
That was the
specifically said
resolution.
only if they're hot.
Oh,
Yeah.
of them
one of them wasn't hot, but he had money. So
Okay. That
Okay.
was a stipulation. That was a
It
stipulation.
was. Yeah.
yeah,
God,
yeah.
I suppose
But it's
so.
okay.
I just don't.
okay.
I can't fathom at any point in my life getting 4 women to hang out with me in the span of 11 days.
I
think
love
it's
you,
easier
Nathan,
when
but
you're
you
a
do
girl.
not look like that.
Look like what? Look like a guy who could get
This
4 women in
doll
11 days?
that we have in our presence this
Oh, I see.
evening.
I see. I'm really glad this is the conversation we decided to start a visual oriented podcast. Welcome to the
Look, we're
Visual
all
Podcast.
beautiful on the inside, and that's what counts.
No, listen, y'all. I have no ugly friends. No one can ever say that about me. I have no ugly friends. All my friends are hot. They're cute. They're fine. They're stunning and gorgeous.
Yeah.
Okay.
They are. I agree. I absolutely agree. But that's also like, I think all of my friends are cute. Even the ones that aren't very cute, I think are real cute,
Yeah. Great personalities. Great personalities.
Yeah.
No, they're all cute.
Yeah.
But it's not just YouTube that we're doing. This is a big swing. We're doing a lot. I had a meeting with Victoria and Sarah this week because we've been on Twitter, and now we're on YouTube. And not only are we on YouTube, you can find all of our past episodes on YouTube. I went through and I put every single one of them
What?
on there.
Wow.
So all of them are on there. And I animated little stick figures of us. So they're all visual. No.
Oh, damn, you got
Those
way
are-
too much time.
Those are just MP3s, and they still took forever to make videos out of. So they're there for no one to watch. And then we're on Twitter. We've been on Twitter before. TikTok, we've kind of dabbled, but now we're hardcore, right?
Yeah.
So we're doing TikTok, and we have an Instagram now, and we have a Facebook page. So
And we're gonna
hitting
be-
all over the
Wow.
quadrants.
And we're going to be taking clips from the shows and uploading little
Yes.
highlights to all of
Yes.
those video
And we
platforms.
might-
So
Yeah.
Yes.
You guys will be getting teasers, lots of extra content on those socials. So be sure to follow us everywhere
Yeah.
because there's going to be some things that you might miss out on.
little
Yeah,
rat
you don't wanna
poops
miss
every
out.
day. You're going to get little rat poops.
Little pebbles.
Every day.
Little pebbles for y'all.
Little pebbles,
Yeah.
little rat poops.
You're gonna open your kitchen drawer, and there it is.
Oop,
Just
there
right
it is.
for you.
Poop. There it
Everywhere.
is.
Yeah, poop. There it is. We are also we'll have some exclusive visual content as well. So, join us. You can just search for us on all those platforms, but I'm pretty sure all of them are Rat Castle Pod. So you can just find us at Rat Castle Pod on all those, or go to our new URL, ratcastle.com, which will take you to our link tree with all of our links, social and podcasting and stuff. So we're legitimate. I think after
We're in the
2
big
years,
leagues, y'all.
we're sort of putting a ring on it a little
We
bit.
got
here.
sponsors
So-
yet? Are there sponsors yet? Are we getting sponsors?
No sponsors yet.
Damn it.
I have my
Reach out.
doubts.
Reach
Yeah.
out, you guys. We want some stuff.
Yeah, currently we're sponsored by Slurm.
No, we want to promote your stuff.
Yeah,
It's
but
just
right
a
now
burning
free stuff.
desire
I think
in
based
our
on-
hearts.
Based on the last episode, we should get one of the sex toy companies to sponsor us. I think
think that's
For sure.
Adult
Oh,
toys
yeah.
and lube and marital aids, as we used to
No.
call them.
Oh my god.
No.
Oh my god.
We're not doing that.
Come on,
I would read.
sex positivity.
I would.
Yeah.
I would certainly read those. That would be fun. Speaking of that, It was a little bit after Christmas.
Oh my God.
This was the
But
no.
But Santa,
yeah.
Santa, you know, he'll still take care of you in the coming year.
He will.
So that's my plug, I suppose, for sex toys. So that's my audition. And
Santa
if you'd
will
like to
finish you off.
audition-
When
Yeah.
we do it, Santa will do
So-
it, you guys.
So there you go. ExtremeRestraints.com, Adam and Eve, whoever, reach out. That's
Yeah.
as
Reach
good.
out.
If you want to have a very boring white boy,
HelloCake.com. We love you.
yeah, I'm
Love you
sweating
all.
a little bit, but I'll make it through. So that's my audition tape. It's weird to call it a sex tape because it's not really. You don't
Not
really wanna
really.
put, like,
No.
sex
no.
toy tape. I can't like label this episode sex toy tape.
It's
Can't
a
put that
sex
on YouTube. I'll get
positivity
in trouble.
tape. It's a
Yeah.
sex positivity tape.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Santa came to town, and so can you. Funtimes.com.
Santa came.
Okay, so
We
there
didn't
you
get it. We didn't get it out of our system last time. Sorry.
No,
Yeah,
apparently not.
that-
Oh,
there's like definitely a
we never
theme of
will.
ruin.
yeah.
Yeah.
How
All
are we
right.
just
All
going
right.
to-
Moving on. Moving on.
All right. And now the
Yeah.
news.
Yes. All right.
Okay, let's move on to Walt Disney World. Sarah, I believe you have some news about park hopping for us.
Yes. So Walt Disney World has finally, after 3 years, removed some of its COVID era park hopping restrictions. So guests who have park hopper tickets can now move in between the parks at any time of the day. You don't have to wait until 2 p.m. anymore, which is really great. And this also means that bus services are back up at 10 a.m. instead of 1:30 p.m. So this
Okay.
is amazing if you have park hopping tickets. However, if you have an annual pass or if you're a cast member, you do still have to like have reservations on select days, but like it is what it is.
Right.
So that's kind of like the little thing. They're like, we're gonna give you park hopping, but you still have to have some like reservations on some days, most days.
Right.
So
The,
there you
the
go.
fact that this makes news is just ridiculous. Like, we're back to normal, meaning what you
Yeah.
should be doing?
Ish.
Yeah. And you're not. Ish.
yeah.
Ish. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not really, but kinda. Anyway, well, that's where it is. And we already know that the Lightning Lane had tons of issues on the first day because of this
Yeah.
park hopping thing. It's like a thing that they knew of. I don't know how they keep screwing this up so bad. They're really, really bad at this. Yeah. So there we go. There's that. You can park hop, maybe, kinda.
They just
knows?
need like a whole new tech team in terms of like their entire like Genie Plus, Lightning Lane, Magic Key, the entire tech department. You are
I
fired.
think it's funny. I don't I don't want to throw those people under the bus. I think it's that the strategy they picked for all of this swung the pendulum so far away from the way that the place operated for so many years.
Yeah.
That now these kind of incremental, oh, maybe we should put it back, is like, of course it's not going to work well. You changed so much all at once because you were greedy motherfuckers that getting it back to being a serviceable, a piece of entertainment is kind of impossible now.
Well, they had a right, and I appreciate what they did to figure out how to make COVID work. And I get
Sure.
that. I think
Yeah,
it was
sure.
and that was a lot of like, okay, we're going to have to figure out a lot of stuff quickly. But you're
Yeah.
right. You should be able to turn that switch off and turn the other switch back on to normal and be done. And I know that's pretty basic and I'm super naive, but at the same time, you should at least have those plans available. And instead, you're right. They've sort of said, well, we already have kind of created this thing. Let's see how we can juice the numbers in certain ways, and how can we make it look good? Like, how can we make it look good for Q4? And so you get all this shit, and it doesn't work at all, and no one's happy. But anyway, some maybe better news, but not really, I don't think, because it's really not going to matter. We have some Reedy Creek stuff going on, Sarah. Is Reedy Creek coming back, maybe?
I mean, I wouldn't bet on it. Like, I don't know, y'all.
That's her official her official
That's my
examination of the.
Yeah. This is my political science degree coming to you guys. Like, I don't know. Like, it's so a Florida lawmaker named Senator Linda Stewart, she just kind of put a bill out there where she wants to restore the Reedy Creek Improvement District. She's essentially saying that Ron DeSantis' oversight committee has had lots of issues with it. There's just like a lot of criticism surrounding a toxic workplace. There's been a lot of employee resignations, it's a mess. It's a mess.
Yeah.
We did not need her to tell us this. We know it's a mess. It has been a mess from day one. And she's essentially just saying that this was unfair towards Disney because of Disney's stances on the Don't Say Gay bill, and kind of like its opposition to DeSantis's like laws that he's been enacting within the state. There has been some criticism, obviously, from the Republicans. Caroline Amstey, which is an interesting name. So she criticized Stewart's bill by saying that it was rushed and it lacked House support without any proper drafting, essentially just calling her someone that is a Disney. She basically called her a Disney adult. That's what I heard
but here's
mouth.
what's weird. I disagree with her, but she's also right that there's no House support. Like, this thing can't go anywhere.
It's definitely for show. I think
totally
it's
for show.
It's a political thing. What Linda Stewart is doing here is essentially just trying to say, "Hey, Disney, come donate this away. The donation bill, like, come, I'll support y'all in the House." Like, that's what she's basically doing, which I support the hustle, girl. But let's get some things actually working in this
I
state
generally
first.
support the hustle, but
Yeah.
I don't particularly. I don't want to be like, oh, George Santos, I support that hustle. You know, so, politicians be politicianing.
Well, they had a bunch of
lobbyist-
walkouts too. They had
last time.
No, this time too.
They were
For this one,
this time too.
Oh yeah, and they were basically saying it wasn't because of the Reedy Creek thing. It was because of delegation rules and about process, and they haven't followed process. Like, bullshit.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah. Sure.
I just want to know, when did we become England and become Parliament, where we just start acting a whole mess and a fool in these houses?
I like it.
Let's have some decorum.
No, I like it. I love.
No, that's
watching
psychotic,
partisan
Nathan.
shit.
I love
Shouldn't
watching
have said
Parliament.
Parliament is cool.
I can
Parliament
fully
is
go
cool.
do this now because we're on visual, but like Parliament, everyone's like this, and they're like, yeah.
With the wigs.
We need to bring wigs back to American politics.
Yeah.
Can we? But guess
Yes,
what?
we do.
Not white powdered ones, just like cheap shake and go Party City wigs, like a whole box. and they don't get to pick one. Someone just you bring the bag of wigs around, and they have to pick one out for every meeting. Ah, oh, damn it! I got
With
the
a fresh wig.
no. Just shake and go, baby. Shake and go.
I mean, I guess I would love
man.
that. Maybe we can get the youth participating if they actually
It would
make
make
a mess like that.
right. It would get the youth participating, and make C-SPAN a lot more entertaining.
It would.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
really
that's
would.
true. Just
Yes.
merge C-SPAN and MTV. So
the youth vote.
anyway,
Yeah.
here the next story is pure Florida, like weird Florida. This is things that happen in Florida. It's
Yeah.
kind of crazy. Sarah, what was found in a retention pond near
woman.
Disney World?
A woman in her car was found after 12 years in a retention pond near Walt Disney World.
It's like on a highway. Like if you look at the
it's-
photo, it's like right
It's
next.
like
It's
the main highway getting into Disney.
Is
Yeah.
it really getting
Yeah.
into
Yeah.
Disney?
I recognized the photo. I recognized the overpass.
I did
I was like,
too.
oh, I know
Yeah.
exactly where that is.
And you know what, you guys? I can't tell you how many times I have driven to Disney and taken that exit and driven past these retention ponds and been like, I can't believe nobody's ever just like got disappeared in these ponds, because this is tourist central and that's a death trap. And
You were
lo
getting
and behold,
psychic
this
signals
poor
from the dead
woman
body in there.
Was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
was in there for 12 years.
Oof,
12
crazy.
years. And this was
wild.
so how she went missing. Well, they don't know like the specific details, but they know that she had gone out on a date. And there was this guy that she met online. Oh my God, cautionary tale for me. When she met this guy online, and then she went missing. And there was like a
Her
volunteer
family
dive
was
group.
convinced it was foul play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean,
So sad.
that's what's so crazy. They found her van in this retention pond. So
and now they think it's not foul play at all. They think she just
No,
died.
it's
Like
an
it just
terrible
went in.
accident, which is kind of relieving for the family, I think. But kudos to the volunteers who because it was
Right,
volunteers.
that was amazing. The divers, it's like a group of divers. There's a lot of divers in Florida, obviously, right?
They have
and
like
there's a lot of
sonar
ponds.
equipment. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And they do it for free. Like, that is so awesome. Talk about taking your hobby and like spinning it into something,
Doing
that
something
can actually help
good.
people. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so heavy though.
I know.
Yeah.
God, lots of mixed feelings when you find that out. But like,
Yeah.
what here's the thing. That road is very, very busy.
Oh, I've passed a dead body multiple times, and it's weird to think about.
Like, it's just
Like-
I mean, obviously nowadays more people have GPS in their car. Cell signals are probably spitting out your location a lot faster than it did 12 years ago. So they would have somebody would have figured it out sooner. But I can't believe nobody saw it. That's the part that blows my mind. That nobody
at
saw
night-
It was
taillights.
probably late at night, maybe. Oh, taillights.
Well,
Well, she went on a date. So after a date,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I've left that area pretty late. There's been late nights at Disney, or there's been friends in the nearby area, and it can be those highways can get really quiet because
Yeah, I
tourists are all sleeping.
After the parks
everyone's
close, it's
inside.
basically a ghost town.
Yeah, it really is. And when traffic's not around. And so I think it's very possible that somebody could go in and the next car doesn't come by for another 2-3 minutes and it's just gone. It's crazy, but it's possible. Let's move on to better news. Well, I don't know if this is bad news. It's just news.
I mean, we just want to say, I guess we're so happy that she was found, and we're glad that the family has that comfort now.
Yeah.
And shout out to they're called the Sunshine State Sonar. So that
I just want to
those
make
are
a
the
point
volunteers
here.
that found her.
Wait,
and
hold
the
on.
cat.
I just want to make a point.
I'm so sorry.
That Janine's like we're over here trying to
Have a
counsel
moment,
a dead
and I'm
woman's
our very
family.
first.
And then Janine completely not thinking that we're still on video, recorded for
No,
for
I'm
the
fully
world.
aware we're on video, but I have no choice
even
because there's
worse.
another cat in
The
my
cats
lap,
are
and they
always
don't get
there.
along. This one just broke my office door down and came
I heard
in
the
here and
purring.
started
I heard
waltzing
the
in front of me.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
First video episode, folks. First video episode. You saw it here.
Janine,
It's
I tell you.
been
back.
an interesting
So-
night.
Look, from myself and from Dave and Sarah, thank you. We feel bad for you, family.
And
And
Janine's
Janine's cat says
F you.
whatever. So
Typical cat.
No.
typical
Yeah.
cat. You can hold that kitty cat.
He's
This is good
he's such a
content.
brat.
We got cats on the. We got
Sorry.
cats content.
That clip is going up.
Yeah.
It needs to.
Watch out, Mr. Beast. We're coming for you.
Cats of
We've got
TikTok,
cats.
y'all.
Okay. Anyway, let's go to the Magic Kingdom. We have a new weather vane, which is being. That sounds really lame, but it's less lame than that.
But it's
Sarah,
cool.
where's
It's cool. It's cool.
Where?
Okay.
Okay. So, give us the details, and I'll explain why I was so bleh about it. But it is legitimately pretty neat when you look at the
It's-
story. So, what's
it's
going on
really,
with this
really neat.
weather vane?
So there's a new weather vane that was recently put up on Tiana's Bayou Adventure. It looks absolutely stunning. And what's really, really cool about it, it was actually done by a Louisiana blacksmith. And I don't know about y'all, but I didn't know that blacksmiths were still a thing. I don't know.
Someone's got to make steel stuff.
So, I mean, yeah, but I don't know. A blacksmith, that just seems so, I don't know, 1700s.
Well, we do call them African American smiths now. Yeah.
You're so annoying. No. Anyway.
It's the new century.
Okay, well, his name
make
is
the change.
Daryl Reeves, and he is a third-generation master blacksmith and a
That's pretty
Vietnam veteran, which is so awesome. Shout out to the troops. And he actually collaborated with his Karina,
I'm
Rocca
sorry.
apprentice.
No, I'm the one ruining it. I just
out
sorry
to the
down
troops.
here going shout out to the troops.
Shout out to the troops, okay? Hey,
Like
listen,
she's
I am,
Lee fucking Greenwood.
I tried
Just
to keep a straight face, but I don't think.
you guys, we're
Proud to
trying.
be an American.
Listen, I'm gonna earn this citizenship, y'all. Okay, I got this citizenship 2 years ago.
Sarah's
Okay, all right.
Sorry, just to
For
be
2
clear,
years.
in one episode, Sarah has been like, I don't think politicians are that bad.
Yeah.
Salute the troops.
Listen.
Hey, Sarah,
I
where
am-
were you on January 6th?
Let me
Not
not
that
say.
there's-
Let me not speak.
Probably
With
on a
these
date.
Blonde, these blonde braids I got going on, it's giving. Kaylin.
But for real,
Yeah.
I stand this guy. He's really cool.
He's really
Yeah,
cool.
he does.
Yeah.
He's really cool.
But what's really,
Yeah.
really cool about the technique that he used, he's using like centuries old techniques. He has some elements that were inspired by West African symbolism, and there's like some really cool elements of like endurance, divinity of Mother Earth. Like it's given everything. And then there's also the Sankofa symbol, which is really, really cool. And it really does portray that like pro-blackness in this. And I just want to really thank the Imagineers for making sure that they are putting in as much black artistry into this, because they could easily just like put in a random weather vane and just be like, whatever, like fuck it. But no, they're really going for it.
And he's
So
got
that's
like an
what's so awesome.
apprentice who's like a young African American woman.
Yes,
and, like,
Karina
that
Rocca.
rules.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like,
And the people who sort of
it's
dismiss this are like, every detail matters. The Imagineers, since the beginning, have always sweat out tiny, tiny little details like this, and it's great that they're doing it.
The thing that I like about this kind of stuff is, if they're smart, and they're probably not, which is a shame, is you would have a writer who's there during this whole process to create a book at the end of this that is the weather vane and whatever's in the ride and interviews with people and interviews with the trips to New Orleans, and like there's a book there if they want to put it together.
Give us a
And I like,
documentary.
and they're putting some stuff together. I think that's cool. The thing that I said online, which I think is still true, is Disney's like, we got a weather vane, and Universal's like, there's a roller coaster behind them, and they're like, what roller coaster? We don't know what you're talking about. Like, it's a polar opposite. Even though this is like actual good content news, it's just really funny the difference between how these two organizations, these companies, like consider how to talk about the rides or not talk about the rides. Like Disney is just like every day, like here's a little tile, here's a little thing, and it's always
Here's a popcorn bucket.
Yeah, and Universal's like, I'll get back to you.
How do you guys feel about Disney's kind of, I guess, the way that they've been kind of advertising this, like they're over advertising versus Universal's kind of keeping everything hush hush.
Oh, this ride? Well, this is the only ride that they have against an entire epic universe, which is not good. Yeah. It's not going to save them in the end.
It's not a good place to be.
But do you guys think that companies should be advertising in the way that Disney is, or should they be more quiet and hush hush on the down low like Universal?
Well, this is tough because this is a ride connected with identity and cultural identity, and I don't want to say no to that. There have been a couple moments that I felt very get out-ish about how Disney has sort of talked about things. Like it just gets a little too like, why, like, are you trying a little too hard? Like, but I want the representation. But it's hard for it not to feel corporate-y, phony sometimes as well. Like we're doing this like only because I know like 30 years ago they would have been like, let's make sure that we do this, culturally sensitive and and like it feels like they're making up for something. I hope it's an actual initial change. Like I hope it's something that says like, this is how we do business now, and this is important, and this ride's important. But this is something they don't have to do for a new Marvel ride. Like, so it's this delicate balance. I think that Tiana's Bayou Adventure is probably a bad example of what I think they should do for marketing. I think Epcot's a pretty good example of them not doing what I think they should do with marketing, which has been that sort of, here's a tile and here is this and like da 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 da, and you're kind of like, you're opening a beer garden and it's taken you 3 years. Like, what are you talking about? Like, just open the fucking thing. So I think it totally depends on each individual thing. I wish they did more hiding, and because Universal's like, Epic Universe is gonna like come out of nowhere, and that's amazing in many ways. So I don't know.
I do want to push back a little bit on, I think with them overhyping this, like we all understand that it's kind of just them putting things over like an already existing ride. They're kind of just like saying this is all we have. Like we're just gonna overhype the hell out of it. But I think the fact that they are highlighting like people from Louisiana,
totally.
like using like an example of this, like a blacksmith or like specific black artists, or like bringing in that type of culture and history, and it doesn't feel half-assed. I do agree that it kind of feels like, oh, we got called out during Black Lives Matter, and sometimes it's kind of, oh, were you guys actually going to be doing this, or was it something that you guys just felt like you needed to rush in to do because of what happened during that time? But it's kind of like, any progress is good progress, I guess.
Yeah, it gives me.
But
this
I understand
might be a reference.
your point.
This might be a reference for Dave only, but this gives me slightly Epcot presents Alex Haley's Africa vibes sometimes, where Epcot was like, "We're gonna have a new Africa land, and like we're gonna get the guy who did wrote Roots, and it's gonna be a thing," and then it was nothing, and. I don't think this ride will be nothing. I just hope that you're right, Sarah, and it's not just a flash in the pan sort of.
I mean, all the
companies
did put together DEI divisions in the last couple of years: diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Yeah.
Yes.
And corporately, that's great. But at the same token, you also have, Iger saying in the recent call about how we need to focus on stories and not. I don't remember the exact words. It can be interpreted that he was saying, they're too issue based. I don't really think, if you look at the words he used, it's very, very. I don't think he would make a mistake like that.
Yeah.
There is, frankly, profit and capitalism in making the stories as widely acceptable and broad ranging as possible.
Yeah.
But I think they're under scrutiny for that kind of thing. So I don't know. I know also that a lot of the DEI divisions of the studios kind of got cleaned house in a lot of ways, and a lot of production deals and things went away that were focused on diversity and inclusive storytelling. So I hope I'm being the white guy. I can't really make a call on whether or not it's better or worse now. What I will say is I always enjoyed hearing about it, and this story in particular, because it was like, oh, there's this really cool artisan. When it talked about what all the visual influence was for the shapes, I was like, okay, that's really cool. That's something that 30 years from now, some kid who's a theme park nerd in the park is going to go, look at that. It's just the same way we talk about, the half red, half white light bulb on Main Street, and the way we talk about that, every little detail matters, and now you're going to have a little theme park fan of color this is their favorite ride, who knows this little story and where it came from for this weather vane, and that's not nothing,
Yeah, and there is certainly a history of Disney Imagineering uniting with cultural artists. I mean, Animal Kingdom is pretty much that 100% all of it.
Yep.
I was just about to say the legacy that Joe Rohde built on that front is
Yeah. I mean, I think Cali River Rapids is a stupid ride. It also has one of the most beautiful artistic cues of all time. Like, it's a tremendous amount of actual, like, Asian artist work, museum quality in that.
I just don't know about having a thrill ride whose basic theme is deforestation is really a compelling.
I mean, I get it. I mean, they're like, Joe, what do you want to do with your Joe? What do you want to do with your animal park? And he's like, can we have I want a deforestation ride, and then can we have a slaughtered elephant in the safari? Is that cool?
Yeah,
can we do that?
I saw it. I saw it.
Big Red, man.
It was
different
real.
Time.
Big Red.
Back in my day, Big Red wasn't just bubble gum. It was a deceased elephant. Anyway, let's move on to Epcot. Janine, Festival of the Arts is underway, or as we like to call it here, farts.
Yeah, so Festival of the Arts kicked off this weekend, since this will be released post kickoff. Victoria is out there right now for the launch, which is very exciting. Hopefully she'll have some good reporting for us. I'm so sorry.
The
I don't know if you guys hear that.
Janine is just not prepared for.
It's
Janine's
like my office door, like two doors that go like this, so he just pushes them open and comes in.
Pure
like,
cat chaos today. It's cat chaos.
Oh my god.
Lord knows I'm not cutting any of this. Just because it's video doesn't mean I'm cutting things.
now you guys know what we
told
deal
them,
with
"You can take
on a
the-
regular.
Yeah, on the regular.
Let's not kid ourselves. I have not edited an episode really for the last
No, but now
year.
y'all could see. Now you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
see.
Now you.
Now
guys-
you know.
I just
Yeah.
threw him and asked
You threw
my
him.
husband to put an extra door between us. I'm so sorry.
No, you're fine.
okay.
Don't be.
You're
There's,
good.
there's amazing. This is good. This is good
Yeah,
content.
this is good.
This is
good
great.
content.
Okay, so yeah, Festival of the Arts.
So farts. Yeah. Where were we?
Farts kicks off. They're already back, about to break the door down.
Oh my god. What are these cats?
Look, he's your husband for a reason. My wife understands. You gotta. She is cat.
I don't
wrangler
think
while
he
I'm
heard
doing
me.
this. You get.
Let me.
Cat wrangling.
You make him.
I like how we keep
work.
saying cats. What are their names for the audience?
Yeah.
Oh, well, the angel is Luna, and the demon
Luna.
is
No, Luna.
Leopold.
Leopold.
That
Leopold.
tracks. With that
Yeah.
kind of name?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he's a little
That's
shit.
pure chaos.
Pure
Pure
chaos.
chaos right there.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. Festival of the Arts has started. Where were we?
Farts.
We wanted to talk about some of the foods that we liked. Right? Is
Yes.
that the whole
Yes.
thing? We're gonna talk
Yeah,
about some
that's the
food?
best part. Like, there's all sorts of like little exhibits where you get to paint by numbers, but all anyone really cares about.
Can we talk real
is
quick
the food.
though about
I already
their
get dark.
whole like we're gonna have Wish, like they had like setups for you can be in books and stuff, and now they're like here's versions of movies and here's like panels from like there's like 2 for Wish, and they're adding these photo dumps that are like kind of movie oriented now, opposed to being like maybe they had the portraits. They still have those, but they're doing more of that. I'm like, don't.
Tooting your own horn much, I guess. I mean, it is an art. Filmmaking is an art.
I mean,
Just
yeah.
overall, the fact that the menus here are not necessarily like I do appreciate how they've differentiated it from Food and Wine, which is like country based. This is more like it's all fusion and it's weird presentation and
Yeah.
it's artsy, weirder food, certainly weird food for a theme
Weird-looking
park
food,
audience,
we could
and
say.
weird looking sometimes. I don't mean weird as a pejorative. I'm like it's pretty interesting stuff.
It's cool. Yeah.
But again, now that Epcot is just nonstop festivals, they have to sort of separate them somehow, right? Because otherwise, it's just like, oh, it's
Yeah.
Food and Wine
More
24/7
food.
all the
Yeah.
time, right?
Yeah.
Sorry. let's start
So
with
what is
yours.
what does Flower
What?
and Garden separate? How does that one?
Not really. I mean, it's more green based,
Oh,
I suppose.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
feel like Flower and Garden is
Down to
very
earth.
similar to Farts.
I agree.
No. No.
You don't agree?
No.
You don't agree? I feel like it's so similar.
No.
A lot of the food looks very colorful, very bright. It's like, I guess Flower and Garden, maybe you could say it's like focused more on vegetables.
I mean,
It's more like, I think Flower and Garden is more like rustic,
yeah. It's more.
Okay.
It's more.
Okay.
whereas this is more
Veggie,
like
more-
high dining.
I get what you're saying. Okay, I can understand. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, Sarah, let's start.
Yeah,
with
so what are you guys looking forward to? What would you most like to try, having looked at the menu? Sarah?
Yeah.
I mean, just based off of visuals alone, I'm really loving the deconstructed key lime pie. I think it's so cool. You actually have an actual, like, a lime on the plate. Like, I don't know how you're supposed to eat that, but
It's like a baby lime. It's like a little.
I
Tiny...
don't even know if
But
it's a
not
lime.
even
I think
cut
it's
up.
And I
No,
think
I
it's
think
like a
it's-
mousse.
it's a
like a-
mousse shaped like a lime.
Oh,
It's molded.
right.
Did
That
you
whole
think it
thing
was
looks
a-
like it's right out of.
Cool.
Did you think it was a full size lime? Did you think this thing was this big? Like
Yes. Yes. I'm not
Do
even
you
gonna
want
lie,
to
I
change your
did.
selection?
No,
knowing
I kind
that
of,
it's
I'm
not.
keeping it. I'm keeping
about
it.
this
Now it's
big. I can
cooler.
guarantee. Yeah, it's tiny.
I thought it was
It-
gonna
it-
be like this. It's like a lime. Like, I don't know, because I'm thinking, where's the lime gonna be at? So put an
It
actual
legit
lime.
looks like something from Pee Wee's Playhouse. Like it's this very graphic squiggle of food.
Yeah,
know.
it's so.
Yeah, it looks
cool.
really fun.
is meringue.
It looks like Memphis design for you design nerds out there. That is a
Yeah,
very
it's pretty
particular
cool.
design school. It looks very Memphis.
I like the lava cake. I'm for that.
The lava cake was really cool.
Molten chocolate cake, hazelnut crunch, and then it's like mango raspberry syrupy whatever. It's kind of cool
Flame.
because in the
That is
photo
fun.
it looks like a flame and kind of it looks like Guy Fieri. Like it's just sort of that kind of flame, like that. It's that orange
Yeah.
and black flame. It's also going to
I
be really
really
funny.
wonder.
Well, you wonder what? You
Go
think
ahead.
This is you think this is a Fieri drop? Do you think this is a...
Oh no, goodness, no! I just wonder how many are going to come out looking that cool versus just like a
this is exactly what
slop.
this is exactly what I wanted
Yeah.
to talk about, because none of them will ever look like this, ever. It's going to go
No.
look like that, and
Bleh.
it's just going to be stuff. Yeah, maybe the first
Yeah.
day, But there's,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I had the same reaction. I looked at all this plating, and I'm like, this is fine dining plating. This is not going to look like this.
yeah, yeah.
While I do have a sweet tooth, and there's a lot of the sweets that look great to me, I went savory. My pick was the roasted bone marrow with onion marmalade, pickled mushrooms, and petite lettuce. The pickled mushrooms and onion marmalade just sounded great, and I love bone marrow. I know,
Really?
y'all, some vegetarians on here, but for me, it's like. I also picked it because I know it'll have the shortest line, because I just know a theme park audience is going to be like, bone marrow, gross. Blah.
And then the other options are plant-based, so
In
the same booth?
in that same one. That's what
the same-
doesn't make sense.
yeah.
It's a risotto. It's a mushroom
one's
risotto.
vegetarian, I think.
Okay, all right.
But
Yeah, that was my pick. I mean, there's a ton. My second choice was the gnocchi poutine. That sounded really great, which is
Ooh,
basically
their
taking
just
poutine
always
fries.
hits.
I love
Yeah.
poutine, but they're taking the fries and deep frying gnocchi, which is potato, right? But it's just a different
Yeah.
form. Okay, sure.
Just
And then I
taste
really
it.
loved the cold and hot salmon in France. That there was a salmon mousse
that
served
thing
cold,
looks so pretty.
and the puff pastry hot with spinach with a Chardonnay sauce. Yeah, both of those were like, okay, that's perfect French cafe food. I love it.
Yeah.
Have you guys
Jeannie, what
ever
about
had
you?
the sushi donut? Sorry.
Oh, the sushi donut? Yeah.
The sushi donut
Is it
was
good?
funny.
Because I feel like it always comes back. Like
It's
I don't
just
know.
sushi. It's just a
Yeah.
sushi
Okay.
roll in round form. That's it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
You're right. It's all presentation. But it's good. Janine, what about you?
I'm headed to the same booth as Dave at the Gourmet Landscapes. With
She's getting that bone
they
marrow.
have
One thing I know about Janine,
they have-
loves that bone marrow.
Yeah, no. The Verjus roasted beets with goat cheese, petite lettuce, blackberry gastrique, and spiced pecans has my name all over it. It
That
looks
sounds fun.
so
And the three of
good.
those together, that's a dinner.
Yeah, that's a
like
meal.
those sound.
That'd be a nice
the third
meal.
thing is a
Yeah.
mushroom risotto with truffle, and it's like and Zinfandel reduction. Like, come on, the
And I
three of
bet
those
you
together
that's
would be
so
perfect.
good. Like,
Yeah.
I
Sounds
will
vegan.
definitely be getting both of those vegetarian options at the
Yeah.
same. I'll be like, take my money, please.
For sure. Oh, Festival of the Arts is my favorite. I'm getting pangs of sad that I don't live there anymore. I love Festival
Very
of the Arts.
sad.
Yeah, we used to have a ball. You're probably going to be on like
Yeah.
art duty for me. So
Aw.
I don't know. I need to see all the stuff that comes out, and I'll be like, Janine, give me this postcard.
I'll FaceTime you.
Yeah.
Walk
What do you
by
want?
the kiosk.
I'm always buying the tiny ones. Though I do have two. I bought two big ones a couple years. Anyway, the big thing I think is not the food necessarily, but the popcorn bucket. It's a big one. What is this?
Yeah,
popcorn bucket,
I
Janine?
cannot tell you. It's just so funny to me because we kicked this whole podcast off roasting the shit out of people who waited in line for 8 hours for the Figment popcorn bucket. That was our inaugural episode.
Yeah, true.
Yes, it was.
And
Thank you.
they came out with this Imagination Pavilion popcorn bucket that's like colorful and with see-through components and beautiful design, and it fucking lights up. And I'm like, I will move into Epcot and live there for as long as it takes to get this bucket.
This one hits. This one's
It's
really
good.
This one hits. I don't
It's
even
real
like
cute.
popcorn that much, but it's just
yeah.
so fun.
Yeah.
It's
It's cute.
fun. I posted on Twitter about it, and someone was like, "I don't get it. What? It's just a popcorn bucket. It holds popcorn." I'm like, "You don't understand.
It's
Yeah,
cute.
that's
It's real
a-
cute.
It's
Fuck off.
cute.
You don't get it.
And
Can
it
they
lights
fix the
up.
ride now? Can they fix the ride now?
Yeah, right.
Like they're
They
they're
put all the money in the
fetishizing the
bucket,
character
y'all.
in the building over and over and over again, and the ride is like,
Dog
please
shit?
fix the ride. It's not good.
Yeah.
yeah.
My hope is
how
like
do
if
you
we
eat-
show out some more. What?
How do you get popcorn out of this? How do you eat popcorn out of this? Because I can't figure it
I
out. Is there a hole in the back?
No.
They show it. I
You
think
could
they show it.
open the top or something.
Yeah, I think they showed it in the Disney Parks TikTok. There was a video of it.
Okay.
And it
All right.
and it.
I'm seeing
yeah,
it now.
And
You can
and
get
it's-
in it.
you can get
the
in
back. The back like slides
The back
open.
opens.
it. A lot of them. Yeah, like when the
okay. It's like
character
a whole
ones when the back
panel that just
opens.
goes,
Yeah.
boop.
Yeah, I like that too. 'Cause
I
it
love
kinda
the rainbow
hides-
popcorn in there.
Yeah, it kind of hides the window. That's the thing about some of the popcorn
It's
buckets. They
really
kinda look
well
okay,
designed.
but-
Like the
Yeah.
design is just really thoughtful.
See,
and
How much is this?
If I
thing?
got one, I would
don't
like
need it.
watertight it on the inside with like hot glue and fill it with booze and just a big
Oh, I was
straw.
gonna say you could put fish in there. You can make
Fish.
a fish
Oh my
tank.
God, make it. Okay,
I was thinking
some
glitter
nerd out
tentacles.
there, after you get one, retrofit it and turn it into a little figment fish tank.
I
Somebody
cannot
needs to make
endorse
that happen.
It's too small to be
It
human.
is very small.
Tiny,
Can you
tiny.
put, like, a
Then the
goldfish?
little itty bitty like feeding fish.
Just
the
these
ones
beta
that,
fish looking at
Goldfish
Pigment.
needs 20 gallons.
Just
the
these beta
ones that
fish.
the
One
one
fish?
the ones that
One
nibble
goldfish
your
needs 20.
the ones that nibble your dead skin on your
Okay.
toes. Like
Oh, yeah,
a
that's
couple
what
of
I was
those.
thinking, too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you just use it for that then? We'll just put
Yeah,
our
just
feet in
dip your
the
hands in
bucket.
it.
Yeah. It's just a little,
Ew.
Imagination Pavilion hand scraper. Great, good idea.
I
Speaking of
guess.
things
Yum.
that have,
Cool.
speaking of things that have scraped and eaten, let's go to the land pavilion.
Sarah,
Janine.
I'm not sure that you know how you got the East Coast beat. I guess it was partly because there's nothing really going on the West Coast, but
Yeah.
I had to give Janine
the
this.
land escalators are gaining notoriety for eating shoes.
Yes.
Carnivorous. They're
It
carnivorous.
claimed, I think, it claimed 3 victims, technically, two separate incidents.
Yeah.
So one person got a shoe stuck in the top of the escalator in the past week or so, and then someone else got both of their Crocs
Yeah.
stuck.
Crocs.
Rainbow Crocs, both.
8.
I don't know. They just were
Chomp.
not paying attention at all.
I don't know how they did that.
They were getting ready to like bunny hop off the escalator. I don't know, but it ate both their Crocs. And the reason that I got this is because my husband had his shoes eaten by the land escalator last year.
What?
Yeah, I was there.
And it got shut down for days.
They're
because
getting a
his
taste for blood,
shoelace-
y'all.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
yours
tasted
was
his
shoelaces
shoe's
then.
blood, and it's been it was just
Yeah.
his shoelace, and it was shut down for days.
It went from shoelaces to full shoes. It is
Yeah.
got a taste. You're absolutely right. It's ready for it.
Yep.
Oh my
This
god.
is
I'm
gonna be
looking
a
at the
horror
pictures.
movie.
Yeah. I'm looking
Yeah.
at pictures of the guy like literally crouched down trying to get the shoe out of the escalator at the
It's not
Come
coming
on,
out.
that's
From personal
that's a nightmare.
experience.
That's a personal nightmare falling into it. I can't even think about it.
Nobody
This is
gets hurt.
Oh.
Final
No, no one
Destination
gets hurt.
5 did a scene like that.
Maybe
with
the Croc
Thor.
person could,
I don't think anyone got hurt.
and that's why they say don't wear Crocs on escalators. Cause,
No,
I
or
didn't know
flip
that.
flops or anything soft.
Yeah.
yeah.
but
I did not know
yeah,
that.
these escalators have like a real. I know they have a lot of traffic. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a weird amount of traffic. To be completely honest, it's a weird amount of traffic on these escalators. But man, they be eaten recently, and
They ate.
I
Y'all,
just think
they
it's
ate.
weird. I don't
They
like. I this is going to be controversial. I do not like the land setup. I don't like that you have to go to the end of the horseshoe to then go down. I think it's a weird vibe. I think there should be a ramp that goes right down the middle.
it is a lot of like wasted space.
It's weird. It's because the
It
whole
is
left side
weird.
doesn't have an attraction or anything when you walk in, right? So there's no reason to go to the left. So everyone goes to the right. Generally speaking, I mean, you could go to the left, so you go down the escalator and go to Soren. But there's I don't even remember what the movie's called anymore. There's a movie theater there that you could go see that one movie.
It's like the climate change movie or something.
Yeah, Ty Burrell tells you about the Earth.
With the carpet on the walls.
Yeah. The best part. But it's just weird that you have to you basically have to go to the entrance of a restaurant to then go downstairs. It's strange. It's bizarre.
It's real
place.
weird. And it eats shoes.
and
but
it eats
little secret, they May, at least in my experience, they give you a voucher for a free pair of shoes.
I was gonna say, get that NSA, y'all.
We killed their
NSA.
escalator for days, and we get reimbursed. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't recommend it. It was an ordeal. We were there for like at least 40 minutes, I would say.
Because
with my husband standing.
Like
the shoe was he slipped out of the shoe because he doesn't know how to tie his shoelaces.
Yeah.
So his foot just came right on out, and so he was just standing in the middle. Yeah.
But then they cut
standing
his
in the middle of the land. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then gave him the shoe.
Yeah, so he walked away with shoes. The Croc person just walking around with no shoes.
No, those are toast. Those are toast.
Those are gone.
They are for sure getting a new pair of shoes.
Yeah, absolutely. There's
Yeah.
no way
Dude,
not.
your husband's way better than me because I would have fell, like, I would have fell over. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, the shoe got caught, and I face planted. That's what would happen.
I think the shame,
You're a little
like
stinker,
the immediate reaction for him was
part
just
of the problem.
pure shame.
Am I part of the problem? I'm looking for opportunity.
Well,
I am going where opportunity strikes. God said this to me. God was like, here is the moment. Here is the opportunity. I am going to take it. Like, hello.
Fair.
Janine, it probably didn't help that I was there because I was kind of just mocking Colt the whole time it was happening. Gently and nicely, but I was shaving him.
I honestly forgot you were there.
Yeah, we were there. Thanks.
Oh.
Appreciate that.
I've been so many times. You and I have been so many times that I can't remember anything ever. So
valid point. Well, now we have an exclusive. This is a video exclusive because Victoria is going to join us with a little video from Epcot. So here's Victoria.
What is up, y'all? I am here live on location. I'm at Japan Pavilion at Epcot, and today is opening day of Festival of the Arts. I said I was gonna try something on camera for you guys, so I went and got my favorite. This is the sushi donut. Here, I'll give you a little quick peek here. It is so cute. It is really good. I get it every year that I come to oh my god, Festival of the Arts. Festival of the Arts. It's at the Goshiki Pavilion. But yes, we're gonna give this a try. This was $8.75, by the way, in case you were wondering about prices, because I know sometimes a lot of us are balling on the budget. So let's give it a try. Let's get a little bit of the sauce. Alright, let's see. Sure. Just as I remember, honestly. If you're not really into fish, this isn't for you. But it's really good.
Thank you, Victoria, so much for that. It's always so good to hear from you, and I hope you eat all of the things that you love at Good Old Farts.
Oh, cute. The cute little heart.
That's my favorite. I like the.
I know, this one's cute.
That's the Korean one. It's the bottom of the heart.
I know. Yeah.
That's my favorite.
All right, so let's go to the yo ho ho. Let's go to the high seas. Salute the troops.
Who are you calling ho?
Shout out to the Navy. Dave,
Sarah, that took 2 business days for you.
I was like, wait, what happened? Y'all.
Tell you what. Anyway, Dave, we have something. Okay, I didn't know about this. Has anyone went on a cruise?
Yeah.
I've never been on a cruise.
Yes.
Dave, you've
Yes,
been on
I've been on a
cruise?
few.
Sarah,
Yes.
have you had a date on a cruise or something at this point that we don't know about?
Not yet, but the year just started. You never know.
Okay. Dave.
So are you adding that to the list? They have to be hot or rich or take you on a cruise? Are we adding that?
Absolutely.
Okay, got it.
Absolutely.
Sorry, just to be clear, in those circumstances, cruising does not mean going on a cruise. Just so you're clear. There's a difference. Just so
It's more like the Al Pacino cruising,
Yeah,
if you know what I mean.
Yeah. So if you're like, there's a bunch of guys cruising, that's not what it means. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Why we're bringing this up is because Disney has banned something that I didn't even know was a fad. Dave, what's going on Disney cruises?
The cruise world of fans, cruise families, people do a lot of them. There's various like rituals that they do on cruises. some people make little pins and they give them out to everybody. And I even found this on the Galactic Star Cruiser. Like, it was a space cruise, but people gave me gifts. I actually have this little rock. This guy 3D printed rocks with the
cool.
Chandrila star lines on it.
That's so
and like,
cool.
That's so
yeah,
cool.
and he brought like 100 of them, and he gave them to everybody he saw. It was really cute. And so evidently, and I had seen a bit of this on cruises before, and now with social media and like, it's a thing where whatever you do and give out or whatever on the cruise, there's probably a Facebook page for it. There's a hashtag for it. You can, it's just something to keep you busy and a little dollop of fun on your cruise, right? One of those things is little rubber ducks, because you're on a cruise, right? You're in the water, rubber ducks. Right. And people on cruises would bring rubber ducks, and usually the rubber ducks would have like a little tag on it. Think like Paddington Bear, like, please look after this duck, thank you, kind of thing. But it would it would be like, the family's name, and their Instagram and the hashtag for the Facebook page where they post all these pictures, and it would say like, keep or hide, you decide. Here's your duck. You found me. Do what you want with it, but be sure whatever you do, take pictures of the duck enjoying the cruise. Like, you've seen those kids things where Flat Stanley, where you mail the and you take pictures with it. It was like that too. So people would take pictures of the duck and then hide it somewhere else or whatever. Anyway, as Disney fans are wont to do, evidently it got a little out of hand. No.
So irritating.
And, people were doing this in the parks for a while. People were hiding stuff in the parks and creating their own geocaching things. And I know artists who do little sketches and leave them places, and then on their Facebook or Instagram say, go find it, But on the cruises, evidently, it got to the point where it was either a safety hazard or an operational hazard or something. People were placing and hiding these things in places they shouldn't. And I think that caused people to look for them in places they shouldn't. And so Disney outwardly said, no more ducks, and if we see them, we'll take them away. They haven't said they're going to punish anybody for them, but they have said out loud, please don't do this.
We have found your duck. You are in the cooler. Okay, so
here's the thing.
Interesting here. You have done the presentations on guest interaction inside of parks that aren't park related. But to Pride is theoretically an aspect of that as well.
Yes. Yeah.
So you have a unique perspective on that balance. Do you think Disney's gone too far, or do you think this is just what needs to happen?
No. I think it's what needs to happen, frankly. I think it's like... So I think what it is for me is, on any other cruise, you have a lot of people who are diehard cruisers, but you have a lot of people that are just on vacation. On a Disney cruise, it's a whole other echelon of kind of fan. And so I think they went whole hog on this in a way that no other cruise line has to deal with. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they've run into this in the parks, like with pin trading and people camping out with 20 binders of pins and things, right?
Yeah.
Side note, that's why they don't have pin trading in Japan, because they went so crazy for it that it was an operational problem. They did it for like 2 years, and then it went away.
That makes sense.
Years ago. So I think it's great when fan communities create their own traditions and do something like this. I think it can go overboard, and I bet this was not a general. This is a tiny nuisance. Let's get rid of it. I bet you a rotten apple spoiled it for everybody in some way. I don't know what that for sure. Mm-hmm. The community of fans who do this say that Disney's overstepping. I think that's a hard call. It is private property. They can do whatever the hell they want. And like, to your point about, yes, we do Batu Pride in the parks. We don't put anything anywhere. We don't deface anything. We don't, it's showing up in cosplay. And actually, to be honest, Disney's had to deal with this before with the whole cosplay thing, which is what my talk was based on back in 2013. The minute I saw Bounding for the first time, because nobody knew what it was. I saw it really early on, and it was this gal's Tumblr blog, and it was fashion and Disney collide. We all know what it is now, but nobody knew then. And I was like, I've discovered something. What the heck is this? And when you figure it out, it's like they're getting around the rule that no costumes on adults. Notice Disney has softened on that a little, but there is a hard line.
Definitely.
No masks, no full face makeup, no Jedi robes because you can steal shit and hide it under there. That's why
Right.
that's why those aren't allowed, by the way, because you can steal shit under them.
Don't they sell them though?
Yes, but exactly.
I definitely was at Hollywood Studios, and there was a guy who was like 6'4" in a full hooded cape.
All right, so maybe they're softening on that, and like Universal's got to figure it out. The kids wear the Potter robes, and nobody cares, you know. So it is a shifting landscape for sure, and I think, you know, the whole point of my talk, you can see it online on my link tree. There's a link to it to all my talks. The whole point of it at the end was like in fandom, in all other fandoms, you can create your own thing. You can make your own movie. You can have a SoundCloud. You can have an Instructable. You can have Etsy. There's a million things you could do and make and put out in the world. If you're a fan of theme parks, you can't make your own theme park, but you can make the theme park your own. And I meant that emotionally more than anything.
Sure.
But I think there is a possibility of fans taking that love and expressing it and wanting to be part of it. They had to do this at Universal recently. I have another thing on my desk to show you. There's this older couple that would paint rocks, and they painted this one for me that says Cyber Cafe. This is a poster in the last scene of Men in Black in the Times Square scene. And they painted it, and they gave it to me when I was there once. It was so sweet. But they paint these rocks, and they paint them all. There's their little signature at the bottom. They paint these rocks, and they would do it based on the rides or Universal characters or whatever, minions, and they would just like hide them in a planter for somebody to find. And Universal had to crack down on it because it was like they were
a bunch of people
it turned
digging in
into
planners.
People digging in people digging in planners, and a lot of them. And then it's like, yes, you're telling guests they can carry rocks around, like that's going to fly out of somebody's pocket on a roller coaster. Like there's a lot of reasons not to allow it. So I'm of two minds. Fans, make it your own. Do something fun. Ducks are neat. But you know what? Do your own duck and take pictures of him on. They've even said now you can't have him in your stateroom. Like if they find him in the stateroom, they're going to take him.
That's crazy.
Like in your room.
That's
so that part's a little
so now
overstep.
I'm on the side of people who are like, yeah, they're overstepping.
Yeah, I think there they are probably, but that's a hard line to police.
They are until they come out with their new collection of Disney.
There it is. There it is.
Market.
That's the other reason,
I mean,
because if they can sell you these things and encourage you to take pictures and tag the Disney Cruise blog and market for them, of course they're going to allow it.
Yeah.
So were these ducks being found in places that were dangerous?
No, they've not said anything like that. That's my assumption. They probably were places where they couldn't be.
What I heard is that it was a kind of a foggy night on one of the cruise ships. I think it was the Dream, and like they couldn't see it, but there was this huge duck in the distance, and the boat scraped up against the duck, and the boat sunk, and so that's why
Ducktanic.
So that's why
Quacktanic.
One of the reasons. So yeah,
there's crickets. Do we have a cricket sound effect to put in the background of that joke?
I just want everyone to realize something about me,
just
which is here's the thing: the cornier and the shittier the joke is, and the more silence I can get, the more I like it. My favorite joke, which is a story that I tell, which I'm not going to tell here because I've already got my silent joke, but it ends in a way that no one has ever liked. They go, "Why do you tell me that?" Because it's like an aside. It has nothing to do with the story. And then I add this aside about the person who's there because it's sort of a tragic aside. And they're like, "Why?" And I laugh every time because it's so much funnier to have someone think, that guy's a real piece of shit. And then for you to give them one little piece more information and then be like, "What? That's so sad. Why did..." So I love those moments. So you can... I'm
so confused.
Give me
my favorite dead end joke is one of my dad's jokes. He would say, a grasshopper walked into a bar, and the bartender said, "We have a drink named after you." And the grasshopper says, "You have a drink named Steve?"
Yeah, it's a good one.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much time you guys have spent with small children, but when a child begins experimenting with their joke
Humor?
creation skills, it is the best.
Yeah.
I can't pull anything off the top of my head, but it is anti-humor. It's
Yeah.
like, why is the sky blue? Because it is. And it's like, that's the joke. And they think
And
it's
they
the
laugh their heads
funniest
off.
thing
Yeah.
ever.
It is funny.
Just a bunch of little
Yeah.
Andy Kaufmans running around, anti-humoring. Anyway, let's move on to something really cool. We're going to go to Disneyland Paris,
Man.
is something that I don't think we're ever going to see here in this way.
No,
but I don't
FAA
know.
wouldn't allow it.
I don't know.
Oh, Dave.
Oh, Dave.
Let me put this like this: it's not a law thing; it's a nature thing. I'm not sure the nature of Florida, but we'll see.
Universal's done it.
You can do a little stuff, and then there is what we're about to talk about, which is the Disney Electrical Sky Parade. Dave,
Can y'all let that parade fucking die?
Yeah.
no, not this one. This rules like a lot. This is so good.
I watched all the videos of this and had little cartoon hearts bursting over my head. It made me so happy. It's so cool. I do wonder, did the original Electrical Parade run in Paris?
Yes. First, let people know why this is different. What it makes this.
So
unique.
it's a new version of the Electrical Parade, but it is floating in the sky because it is a drone show that replaces the hard floats on the ground with points of light to create shapes and makes them drones in the air of points of light to create the same shapes
It's
that you
so
remember.
clever.
It's really cool.
It's
I just
so
think
good.
it's so clever.
It's really good. People need to look up the video clips of it. It's really beautiful because it also works with
beautiful.
a map projection on the castle, and some of the drones like spit fire and pyro and stuff, which is kind of great. The minute Elliot the Dragon from Pete's Dragon peeked around the castle, I think I plotzed. Like I instantly reverted to 8 years old. It was so cute, and so everybody says that. That they can't do these in the States because of FAA. Well, it's way more nuanced than that. Florida, it's hard. They did it once, and they did the one over the water in Disney Springs back in 2016, if people remember the holiday one.
I remember that.
Yeah, and
By the way,
problem
Dave,
is
to answer your question about Paris, it
Yeah.
ran from 1992 to 2003.
Okay, because I was wondering about the iconography of that, if there's affinity for it there, and obviously there is. It's great because it is literally all the greatest hits of the Electrical Parade. It is the Blue Fairy. It's the big drum. It's so good. Every moment was a wow. It's so amazing that these little things, when they're not lit up, just disappear, and so they do these really great reveals of stuff lighting up and swirling through the sky, and it's
So why do you think this? Why do you think it's not an FAA problem?
So they did it. So they remember that the no-fly zones above Walt Disney World and Disneyland were not like there were ones that were against some aircraft. It was mostly light aircraft, right? That have been there since forever. But they really the strict no-fly zones were obtained in 2003. As the U.S. prepared to go to war in Iraq. Like, they're not that old.
Yeah.
The ones that were very, very, very strict. Because it was never no-fly. It was a distance from the park, and it was the size of the aircraft.
Yeah.
And so they had to go back and to the FAA and get a waiver on their own 2003 request, which they did, of course, because, the small drones are not going to interrupt international airspace activity. So they got the waiver, and they did a show in 2016, and FAA still had to approve it, and they approved they got a permit in 2016 to use small unmanned aircraft system operations within its restricted airspaces. So they can do it. They've already gotten approval from the FAA. Okay.
I think the distinction is that was over water, and they don't want to allow the drones over the people. Was the way I thought.
Partially,
Yeah.
like there are rules about how close it can be to people. It's preferred to have them over water or over backstage areas, so they can
Well, it's
be
kinda
over
like
people
fireworks,
backstage,
right?
like fireworks, right? So it's not
Yeah.
that different. The biggest Disneyland's the bigger problem because the one of the rules is it can't go more than over 150 feet, right? And so the further back you get, like behind Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland, it's not going to have the same effect as it does above the castle at Disneyland
There's
Paris.
not enough space. Yeah.
No, and so Europe's restrictions are a lot less, and so they can get them closer. And I'm sure that there's still safety involved in Paris. They probably do what they do with the fireworks shows, like, you know, Toontown is closed because the fireworks going on and they don't want you back there. There's probably something equivalent that they could do, but it's harder because there's less places to do it. Florida, I don't think that's a problem. I think they could very easily do a show of this scale by having it behind Fantasyland. Now, if it's behind Fantasyland over non-guest areas, it's fine.
I think
the bigger issue in Florida is weather and wind.
It's weather and wind.
Facts.
It's way worse. And you know, we have that here too because Disneyland's close to a coast.
Yeah.
And everybody thinks of it as, you know, sunny California. We got gusts of wind during the winter here right now.
Those Santa
They could
Ana winds.
never do it.
Yeah.
And again, it's not like the area of France where the park is in Paris doesn't have that. They've got weather too.
Right.
So I'm very curious how often this show is going to get shut down.
Yeah.
But the bigger there's a bigger issue though.
Okay.
This is the bigger tell that something's going to happen with them in the parks. The company that did it for Disney, they're a European company that called Dronesos, and they're the biggest drone company in Europe, right? They did all the stuff for Disneyland Paris. They have a new headquarters. Guess where they are?
I'm gonna take a wild.
Orlando.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they have a new corporate office in a North American office based in Orlando. They did a drone show at Dollywood when the new Dolly Butterfly Grove, I think it was called, opened. They did a beautiful. It was great, and so they've already talked about. They've said we've done work for parks such as Dollywood and other major theme parks in the U.S. that they can't talk about because of NDA.
Right.
So I'm sure it's going to happen. I think the first place that it makes sense is Epcot because you can just do it over the water, and they can come in. They can block the little barge bridge over by Africa and not let anybody cross it and come in there.
Let me change that up. I think that you're right, but I also think that with Epcot having something new, I think you may be able to pull this off at Animal Kingdom.
Animal Kingdom, yeah, because Rivers of Light was such a failure. I think that you could easily do it there. Absolutely
still need a show there that they can do.
Yeah.
That is not fireworks based because of the animals. Drones fit perfectly into that niche.
Perfectly.
If you can do it above, a lot of that is empty space back there. There's a lot of growing of food for the animals and headquartering space and stuff back there. I think if you can make it high enough and put it behind the Tree of Life, I think you could do something.
I have an even bigger idea. I think you do it through the entire waterway that encircles the park.
That's crazy, but yeah.
So it's literally a drone parade over the water.
Amazing.
So you can see it from everywhere in the park.
Yeah.
Right? You activate everything.
Patent.
Patent it.
You can't patent an idea.
I don't know.
You can't patent an idea.
You can't when it's called.
Believe you me, I've tried.
Yeah.
You can't. Patents and copyright and trademark.
The
three
Cobb
different things
Air
that are very
Parade.
weird and hard.
The Cobb Air Parade is sick.
So, like, you've got the waterways that encircle. Yeah. What's the center of Animal Kingdom called again with the tree? That
Island, Discovery
Celebration
Island.
Village. Discovery Island. No.
Celebration Village is
Discovery.
Epcot. Discovery Island.
Yeah,
Discovery Island?
Yeah.
I thought Discovery Island was the thing next to the Contemporary that closed down years ago.
No. Well, it was. They used the same name.
They used the same name. Okay. So there's that waterway, and then you have the big waterway where Rivers of Light are, and then you've got, you know, major airspace in backstage behind Everest, behind, you know, Dinosaur. I think there's a couple of layers you could do and still feel like you're in the park.
A drone show behind or near Everest would be incredible and easy to do.
Yeah.
You have the Yeti like come out as a drone figure, you know.
It would be the first time it's moved in decades.
There it is.
Well, do you guys remember Universal Hollywood had a drone show
Right.
in Hogwarts? So, like,
because it was
it's
over
possible there.
It's over the back lot there, and
Yeah.
that's like 4 miles from Burbank Airport,
if we
so it
don't-
is possible.
And
Yeah.
I could be ignorant here, but there's no way that Epic Universe isn't in talks for some sort of drone show. Like, there's no way. It's
You've got
not.
the Lockheed land behind it, like it's all dead land. They could do it.
Right.
They could do so much there.
And the problem they've always had there is because they're so interlocked with the city that it's been harder to do certain things, I think, because they never really done them. And so this could fill a pretty big void if they wanted to for Universal too.
It's coming. It's coming. The clues are there. It's coming.
Yeah. Tokyo. Let's go to Tokyo with a little video thing that we saw this week. There was an earthquake in Tokyo, right, Dave?
Yeah, there was an earthquake. This is the cutest earthquake announcement ever.
Who saved
I've actually
everyone? Who kept everyone safe?
First of all, earthquakes are very common in Japan, as everybody knows, and they have an earthquake detecting system in place there, so they usually know a little bit in advance, and so you get warnings there like you do hurricane warnings in Florida. I was actually in one of the parks when there was an earthquake warning, and they make everybody sort of get down on the ground and put your hands over your head for any falling debris, and the cast members are all trained like that, but one of the other cast members that are trained for it are the fuzzy heads, the costume characters. And so Eeyore is always the bearer of bad news, right?
Yeah.
So there's a video going around of Eeyore calming everyone and being like this and miming for them to sit down and miming for them to put their hands in their head and telling everybody, just miming that it's going to be okay. It's the cutest thing you've ever seen. I actually got a little choked up. It's like, oh, Eeyore's so sad, but he's happy to help, I guess.
Yeah, he's very happy to help. It's very unlike him in this moment to sort of, he doesn't kind of crawl into a corner. He's there for everybody. This got me thinking though, and one of the things I thought of was, as a cast member, I would feel pretty safe in an earthquake if I was in a stuffed Eeyore costume. Like, that seems like a good place to be if you're in the middle of a, just like this fat plush like, roll me anywhere, hit me with anything. Like, I'm going to be fine. So my question to you guys is, what character would you like to be inside of during an earthquake? Who's the character?
Baymax.
Baymax is excellent.
Ooh, Baymax is a good one.
That's a good one. That might be. I don't even know if it's
I think
worth
the
going.
membrane is probably pretty thin.
That's true. Then you're gonna pop.
Membrane.
I think I would want to be in one of the country bears.
I think that's a good call.
Good
I
choice.
think a Big Al is a pretty good call.
Good
Pooh
call.
is. I'm thinking Pooh. Pooh's got a little more stuffing than me.
Oh, Pooh is a good one.
I'm trying to think. Who's our fattest, biggest boy? Pete. Pete's pretty new as a character, but
Pete's a good one.
A pretty good one. Yeah. So there you go.
What about the
Sweet,
Hulk
sweet
thing?
Oh, the big Hulk.
I feel like
No,
that
thing would
one's
just
all
fall
metal,
over.
though.
Yeah, it's like not even
Yeah.
like
It's all metal inside. It's all like armature
Yeah.
inside.
you're on like
Stab you through. Yeah.
Yeah. You're just a dead man inside of a
Great
fake
for
Hulk.
LA then.
Just a
Oh, yes, it is.
great for LA. Anyway, so Sweetie Eeyore, we love you. Let's go to Universal. That's a lot of Disney news, and we have talked a little bit about Universal, but this is some big. I think our friend over at Orlando Park Stop has got some news for us. What's going on?
Alicia Stella with the big drop. This was a great story. I mean, we've heard percolations for years of other Nintendo-related brands like Zelda and Pokemon, and they were all part of the initial discussions back when we saw the leaked concepts for all the Nintendo stuff replacing Kidzone, if you remember that. That was years and years and years ago, and that never got approval or greenlit. But now we're hearing more rumors about Pokemon and Zelda coming back. And what's interesting to me about this whole story, and you can read the whole story on Alicia's website, and she's got a great video that shows you all of the rumors that have happened up until now and what it looks like it's coalescing as now. And the thing that's fascinating to me is like how they're spreading the wealth of that brand across the 3 different parks, right? We know that Super Nintendo Land is at Epic Universe, right? And that's Mario and Donkey Kong, right?
Yeah.
What the rumor for Zelda still stands, and that it would replace Lost Continent, so that's an eye away. What they're saying for the new stuff that they're saying is that Simpsons is going away, and that I think most of the industry has known that for a while because Disney now owns The Simpsons. They're not going to renew that license, and it was not like the Marvel deal. So Disney does control whether or not that goes into the parks, and they probably want some of that sweet, sweet Simpsons theme park money. So I don't know where they would do a Simpsons attraction in a Disney park, though.
It doesn't work. It doesn't
work. Maybe Hollywood Studios, but ugh.
I think at best they can sell some merch in the parks.
I think so too, and maybe character meet and greets, because part of the deal of Universal doing it was Fox being like, our writers get to do what they do. You can't neuter them, and they succeeded. It's very funny, and it lightly smacks theme parks. You know what I mean? Like it's not mean. It's just
fun.
It's fun, right?
It is one of the few rides I've ever ridden that genuinely makes me laugh. Not like a but like this is legitimately a very funny ride. Yeah.
And the first 5 or 6 times I rode it, it made me laugh because the jokes are so fast and furious. Not about Fast and Furious. The jokes come so quickly that there's a lot. That's too easy.
Yeah.
Those jokes are that's like shooting fish in a barrel. The jokes come so fast in The Simpsons that I didn't hear them all the first time, and so they just oh my god! Onward, Convenient Whale. That's one of my favorite ones.
Convenient Whale is great. My favorite's always
and my bosoms are slapping my face. That's my other favorite.
What's the one? Welcome to the theme park in my mouth, or something like that.
Yeah, hey, welcome to Magic World inside my mouth. Yeah. You don't want to hurt me, Ball. We're both bald and never finished.
Bald and round and never finished high school. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, come on. Disney, as much as we like to think because of things like Muppets that Disney can sort of make fun of themselves, not to the level that The Simpsons do. So, but that was writing on the wall is that was going to happen. The ride, I think the ride's kind of run its course. Simulator rides like it has run its course. 15 years, good run. So that's going away, and the rumor is that Pokemon will go there. Now, Pokemon's already being rumored to be going into the Spider-Man building in Japan, because that's closing at the end of this month. Can you believe that? Spider-Man is going away. It was popular there. It was just never as popular it was here. So it's not a brand that they don't have as much of an affinity for Marvel there at all. So it makes sense that it would go away, and they're going to turn
people an idea. Like Japan, they'll do rides. They did like a Lupin the Third they do these weird
little temporary rides,
temporary manga or anime ride. Like they do a lot more local stuff than Disney does. Period.
They do a festival every spring called Universal Cool Japan, and it basically reskins 2 or 3 of the attractions as anime or manga. So it's great. I've been a couple of times.
Yeah, it's not a surprise that Disney would, or not Disney, but Universal would go, all right, let's move on. Let's do something different.
So if people don't know, Spider-Man there is in the place where the Mummy is in Florida. It's in New York, and so that's that little. The rumor is that little section in New York is going to get some sort of Pokemon theming, and that they're going to use the Spider-Man building and maybe even the Spider-Man ride track, but replace everything else, including the vehicles, and turn it into some sort of Pokemon gathering game. The rumors are it's going to be you pick a Pokemon and then you'll do gesture tech like the Ninjago ride at Legoland, and that'll be gestures to throw your Pokeball or whatever. Who knows? It's all rumor.
Isn't Web Slingers like that?
Web Slingers is and it could be something similar. Web Slingers, which is what I like to call the injure your rotator cuff ride, because people get so into it, and at the end it's like nobody moves like that. That's why we don't get. We're never going to see Minority Report interfaces in the real world, because nobody holds their hands up for that long. It's actually kind of painful. Anyway. So Pokemon's been rumored for there, and it makes sense that they would lift it and put it here. That means Simpsons is not only going away as a brand, the building's probably going away too. There's no reason to keep that old Back to the Future building. It's very purpose-built for the holding rooms and the vehicle layout and the screens. Yeah. So that's probably coming down. And
that's a big-ass building too. Capacity.
It's a big-ass building.
And for capacity, it's not bad for capacity necessarily, but you could probably do better these days capacity-wise. That's even at 5 minutes a show, it can get a little slow.
And that whole side of the park, behind that building, there's 2 permanent pop-up tent buildings that they use for Halloween, for 2 of the mazes at Halloween Horror Nights. But there's a whole plot of land there. There's a plot of land the size of a small land there. And so the rumor is that that's going to get the Pokemon treatment. And that I just love the idea that Pokemon's at the studios, Zelda's at Islands of Adventure, fittingly, and Mario is at Epic Universe. It's like it's a neat little. Oh, and then which is perfect, right? And then they're saying that the next Nintendo ride for Epic after it opens is a, hold your hats.
It's so good.
This makes me so happy. Luigi's Haunted Mansion, Luigi's Mansion ride.
So excited.
Which is so great. It's so perfect for that, right?
It's your I mean, they're going to have they're going to have their Universal Monsters Land, but it still gives you a kid-friendly Haunted Mansion-esque concept.
Yeah.
Hey, that game is still kind of scary.
And it's a relevant IP too. Like
the last
my
one was
son
amazing.
Loved the Luigi's Mansion game. I think he beat it twice.
You want me to bust out my Luigi's Mansion impression? Because I'm pretty good at this one.
Yes, please.
All right, here we go. Mario. That's my
nicely done.
my scared
pretty
Luigi.
good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I hold a scared
Gold
Luigi in me. Yeah.
So yeah, lots of rumors around the Nintendo. This is actually what I love about it. Also, is that this shows the strength and the health of that license and their partnership with Nintendo. That's great. That means the 2 existing lands that have already opened have been wildly successful. Yeah. And they're like, yes, because remember, for 20 years before this, every other theme park chain, Paramount, where I worked included, tried to get a Nintendo as a brand. And everybody, when you look at the original plans that were going to go where Kid Zone was, everybody did that. It was like kids rides and spinny rides and beautiful environments, but like not really.
Well, it's what they did with
game
it's what they did with Nickelodeon, basically,
right.
in Paramount Parks, which was here's an Airbender ride, but it's just a swing back and forth thing.
Right, and I think when you see what they've done with it, you can see why Nintendo turned down things for years, because they really held the Universal's feet to the fire and said, no, our brand is about this and this and this gameplay, social gameplay with other people, technology. So I think I'm glad they stuck to their guns, and the land really bears that out. So I hope all of this happens. None of it has been, of course, like you said, Universal's like, what?
Yeah.
We don't know what you're talking about. So, but go look at Alicia's article. It's pretty great. There's a lot of really good detail. Oh, one of the great details was the Zelda ride. Did you read this part? That was going to start as a boat ride and then be a suspended dark ride. Mm-hmm. It was literally like a real free flow boat ride like Pirates. And then you get to a waterfall. It looks like you're going to go over the waterfall, and a spatula ride system picks you up. And it becomes a flying ride. And I saw that rumor happen a couple years ago, and it made me really angry because we were working on a similar thing for can I say it? No. A very large, well-known fantasy.
Scanning his catalog of NDAs.
Scanning my NDAs. Just as a reminder to everybody, some of my best work is under NDA.
He had that on deck. Dave just held up a little pin,
I love
a little
that.
enamel pin.
This is my favorite thing now that we have video, because I have all these toys on my desk that I'm going to use to demonstrate things. But like I was working on a very large, well-known fantasy property. That's all I can say, for a very large theme park. And we came up with, you're always like, what can we do with ride vehicles that's never been done? Oh my God, wouldn't it be great if you're in a boat ride and then all of a sudden you're flying? And it was a fantasy series that had things that pick you up and fly you places. That's all I can say. So Zelda makes sense because you can have the little glider,
Yeah.
Who knows if that's going to be what they do? But it made me go, ugh, somebody else got to that idea too. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that, not that anyone stole our idea or overheard it. This happens all the time. Yeah. There's no new ideas. There's just remixed ones. And so,
speaking of remixed ideas, our Mickey Mouse has entered public domain, and we have our first.
God.
We have our first 2 attempts, and by that I mean cash grabs at utilizing this public domain. This is exactly what I knew was going to happen like day one. So what do we got? What do we got coming from Steamboat Willie?
Somebody's making a horror movie with Steamboat Willie.
Yeah.
So what I love most about this is that the director, some guy named Stephen Lamort, says,
What a name for a horror movie guy.
Yeah.
Oh my God,
His quote is his quote's amazing. It's Steamboat Willie has brought joy to generations, but beneath that cheerful exterior lies a potential for pure, unhinged terror. This is the part I love. He says, "It's a project I've been dreaming of for like the last 3 days, like since it went public domain."
Yeah.
Like this is all of this stuff.
Everyone's been
is
working
a
on
cash.
this for
Come
like
on.
everyone's been working on stuff for like a year. And this is why we got that, and we have another horror video game, right? Which is going to be
there's a horror video game coming out, and it's going to be shit.
It's going
Sorry
to be like
for you developers.
No, it's going to be like
I saw the trailer, and it's just a first-person shooter that they just slapped a Mickey
Exactly.
skin on, and it's like film noir kind of.
That movie is going to be.
Yeah.
That movie is going to be shot with a potato. First of all, it's going to look like ass. Yeah. It's going to be a $5 budget with friends to be actors and not actual actors. It's
sold to the asylum.
It's
going to be.
I just looked at our agenda, and this is not the video game, the Steamboat Willie video game that I'm thinking of.
Oh, so you have another one?
There's another one.
Oh,
so there's a third one that my husband showed me that is actually. It looks much better than these things. It's stylized, very cute, and it's like a film noir first-person shooter. It's not good,
right?
No, but it is more stylistically interesting than the other. It's just a first-person shooter that they slapped a skin on, and the skin is pretty cute. Yeah. But
they probably
it's not...
just did it. They did it in Gary's mod. It's not. It's a no big deal. It's like, and that's my thing when people go, oh my god, it's public domain. Imagine what people are going to do with it. It's like, no, you know exactly what they're going to do it. They're going to throw a big middle finger to Disney and make him fuck and make him kill people. Like that's it.
Yeah,
that's all they're going to do. There's not much else to do with that character. That's right. So edgy. Like show me.
He's not Sherlock Holmes. There's not like things we can do with him. Like it's like when there's a release of a new Sherlock Holmes book and it's written by Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You're like, okay, well it's okay, all right. We're like playing and things are interesting. But like no, it's like there's nothing to do here. Now, if you want to get really fun, if someone wants to say, okay, I'm gonna go full Cuphead with this and I'm gonna make a Steamboat Willie Cuphead thing, cool. Or hey, I'm just gonna make more Steamboat Willie based shorts. They're all gonna look exactly like Steamboat Willie characters, and they're gonna be more of them. And cool, like that's
fun. And they're gonna be more like contemporary stories, but with a look of that's great. Do that, right? Or if Cuphead can take mods, go ahead and mod Cuphead to just have Steamboat Willie in it.
If Cuphead isn't, I mean they don't need to, but there's a bit of me that is like sell out for like 5 seconds and just do it because it would be really fun,
right?
Because it would be really 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 fun to see. It'd be like a partnership, like a Cuphead Steamboat Willie sort of thing. That'd be really cute. What's funny is a lot of this artwork that you see for these horror games and stuff feels like Epic Mickey. It all looks like that gloopy Epic Mickey, like scary Mickey vibe, which is what that kind of tried to do. It's fine. It is whatever. So
it's fine.
Speaking of other film-related material, we're going to go to film and TV. Universal has handed Disney for the first time in 7 years their ass, basically, at the box office.
And it keeps doing so.
Yeah, and not by, so, for example, Universal released big earners like Oppenheimer and Megan. Megan made a lot of money. People don't think about Megan as being a big box officer, but
ton of money.
Budget to box office, 100%. And then of course the Super Mario Brothers movie was just ginormous. So they made 4.9 billion. Billion with a B. Disney came in at 4.8. And there's
no slouch.
It's 80 million. It's not like nothing. But
I can guarantee you they spent more money on movies.
Yeah.
I can guarantee you they spent more than Universal did.
Yeah.
That's 100%. Where it is.
Guardians Volume 3 was a big hit for them, and that's about it. Disney really only wins out because of just property name value more than anything else on some of this stuff. To give you an idea, the top 10 films domestically were Barbie at number 1 with $636 million, then Super Mario Brothers, then Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Guardians was 4, Oppenheimer 5, Little Mermaid comes in at 6. No one's talking about Little Mermaid. It's not gonna it's already been what's the term that we always talk about? It just kind of it's like vaporware, it's just gone.
Memory hold.
Yeah, memory hold. No one's thinking about the Little Mermaid or anything, but it made a ton of money. But Disney also gets Avatar, which is right after that. So Avatar, weirdly enough, people don't think about Avatar. I still forget that Avatar is part of Disney, even though they have a whole land. You don't consider them the same. But yeah, that was a stalwart for keeping Disney afloat this year at $283 million. And then Ant-Man was right behind it, and that is the final rung on that. John Wick Chapter 4, and then weirdly enough, coming at number 10, Sound of Freedom, the grody studio
propaganda machine.
Yeah, they bought their own tickets so they could say they had a big box office. So not impressive. There was a question. Sarah, was it you saying something?
Oh, no, I was going to say the only reason that she's back in the press, like Halle Bailey from The Little Mermaid, is because she turns out she had a baby.
What?
Like, she was pregnant throughout the press of it all, and she had a baby. She just announced that she had a baby boy named Halo.
Whoa.
Aww,
So
Halo.
Congratulations to Halle Bailey.
I didn't even know.
Halo's so
Haley
cute.
and Halo.
I didn't know
It's a
she
cute
was
name.
like even dating anyone. I don't know anything about her, so.
He's irrelevant.
Oh boy. Okay.
So
all right.
Just baby daddy.
Doesn't matter when you're.
Just baby
She's got Disney money now. She's fine.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's nothing really else to say about it. But this has been for Disney. That is a horrible year. Probably the worst in a long, long time. We're talking like.
Also remember that Avatar was released late, so it's still the third highest grossing film of all time.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
right?
wild.
Pass $1 billion worldwide just on that one film.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're not hurting.
So it's one of those things that's weird. It's so weird that Avatar comes around every now and then and makes $1 billion and then disappears out of everyone's mind. So weird. It's weird to me. But what are you gonna do? We'll see. I don't know if this is going to hold. We'll see what happens in the next couple of years. Marvel is really on the downhill, and you're not going to have a Super Mario Brothers every year coming from Universal. So, we'll see. I know they're talking already about some Mario Nintendo-verse thing, but we'll see. Yeah.
It's so interesting that only like one you could say is like an original story, or like which is like Barbie.
Well, I mean, it's based on a property.
Yeah.
It's still a lot of property, but it's,
Technically,
arguably more original than the others.
Yeah, more original.
Right. Technically,
Oppenheimer too.
Technically, the only original one on here is Sound of Freedom.
Sound of Freedom. I didn't want to say it. I'm ignoring that one.
I mean, John Wick.
That one's
John
being
Wick
ignored.
is it's an IP now, but it's an original story. It's not based on decades of love. So.
Well, that's what I meant. Like a standalone. Kind of like its own thing.
Yeah, it's rare. It's rare these days for its own thing to be a huge box office success. Speaking of maybe what will be on I don't know if it's going to be on the box office or if it's supposed to be on streaming. They've not really said, but apparently the Mandalorian's film is going to be filming this year. I don't know where it's going to land, but they finally said, yes, we're making a Mandalorian movie, and we've got the name for it. And the name for the movie is The Mandalorian and Grogu. What a name.
Well, at least for now.
Yeah, I don't know,
Inspired.
man. That's what they said.
And you know what?
Planet.
Yeah.
That movie is going to be, whatever it is, it's going to be a 2-hour-long tease for a final scene where Grogu says, "Daddy," or has his first words.
As Simpsons did.
Sequel.
Yeah. I don't care at all. I wish I did. I am so not down for what Jon Favreau is doing with Star Wars anymore. I'm so bored. Bored. There is only, I think, Dave, maybe we talked about this on Twitter a little bit, but there's only a couple things that I like in Star Wars anymore. That one being the the video games, the Jedi games have been incredible.
Which I just started.
Yeah. The new Survivor had, I think, the best Empire Strikes Back story since Empire Strikes Back. It's incredible.
Cool.
And then what are the other things that I saw? Andor, and I think there was one more, but I'm Bad
I love
Batch.
Andor. Andor's my favorite.
I love Bad Batch too.
Oh yeah, Bad Batch is fun.
Yeah.
Bad Batch is great. But no, Andor's my favorite Star Wars at the moment.
Yeah.
And I just started playing Fallen Order, and I love it.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Favreau stuff, like we talked about it, like I tried Clone Wars and it felt like homework, and so none of the stuff in Ashoka really landed with me because I wasn't. And I know people love that show, and I know people grew up with it, so I don't want to yuck their yum.
No,
good that you love it.
It's good on its own.
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That show's weird
just not
too
my
because
jam.
it's like Doctor Who. It's because there's like whole episodes that you're like, well, follow this line. Just watch episode season 3, episode 2 to 8, and like you can skip if you just want to see certain things. So it's weird.
Yeah.
But also we got news that Ahsoka is coming back for season 2. There was some news on Twitter, people asking, hey, what do you want to see in Ahsoka season 2? I said more than 30 minutes of plot would be nice. So we'll see. I could not care less about either of these two things. Anybody have any more positive opinions on these two things than me?
I love the cast. I love the actors involved.
Mm-hmm.
I think I love them. They're just not given much to do.
The costuming and makeup is great.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
But
it's all house style. It's Star Wars in a house style. It feels like Marvel now. Everything looks the same except for Andor. Like everything just kind of blends together.
Truth.
I guess Echo started this week. I used to be the biggest.
Yeah, I haven't watched it yet. I'm
the biggest Daredevil Kingpin. I love Vincent D'Onofrio as Kingpin. I cannot be bothered. I don't care. So tired. All right, so there we go. That's the information we got from Star Wars. That's all of the news, which means, of course, we're going to our segments this week, and we'll begin with Beware Our Guest. Okay, so the first Beware Our Guest is fun. I don't know if I like the word fun for Beware Our Guest. Basically, an elderly couple assaulted a woman over a parade spot at the Magic Kingdom. Let's see here. A elderly man and a woman and his wife in their late 70s are facing criminal charges after hair pulling and kicking fight to claim a best spot for Festival of Fantasy. Honey, Festival of Fantasy ain't good enough for
Fight implies it's mutual.
Yeah, first
By
of all,
accounts,
assault.
This woman just sat there.
Yeah.
Assault.
And they just kicked her and pulled her hair, and she just sat there and was like, I'm not trying to cop a felony.
And we're not talking like early 70s. Bruce Clough, 79, and Nancy Clough, 77, from Auburn, Alaska. No, Alabama. Alaska.
Oh, Alabama. Of course it's Alabama.
ALA is the acronym here, or the abbreviation.
Alabama. Auburn's in Alabama.
Yeah, I was like Alaska. I was like, why are these people so mean from
And
Alaska?
the victim was 60. Like, this is senior abuse.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So weird.
I missed that part, Dave.
Yeah.
From St. Pete.
Yeah.
So he's a local, which explains why he's not trying too hard and give a shit, because he's probably got a pass.
There was a woman.
That's right. A man and a wife and a woman. So the woman sat down on the curb, and the parade started. And then before the parade started, Clough informed her they were saving that area for the rest of their family. They demanded she find a new spot, but the woman ignored the two elderly persons, says the Orange County Sheriff. What happened next, the woman said, was Bruce began to kick her buttock region repeatedly and push her toward the end of the curb, attempting to remove her from the area. Like shooing her like she's a pigeon. Nancy also positioned herself behind the woman and began to kick her and pull her hair. The woman asked the couple to stop, which is okay, that makes sense. Cast members saw this was happening and intervened, telling a quick fib that the victim was able to watch the parade in a special area. It was the cast members' way to de-escalate the situation. So,
I mean,
this is insane. Like, what is wrong with people? Because we've all been to, I mean, well, not all of us, I don't think, sorry, you have, but Festival of Fantasy is pretty much easy to see anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's not that good.
yeah.
It's fine. It's just a day parade. So I don't get it.
I mean, I feel like when it comes to this whole situation, I want to say I understand because they're at an age where there's like they don't have time for the niceties anymore. You know what I mean? Like it's.
I'm dying next
like,
year.
Like move, bitch! I don't have time.
Sarah
like,
woke up
that's
and chose
literally
violence today.
Really did.
I'm just saying, if I was that age and I didn't know if I was gonna, end it tomorrow, like I would be like, move, have some respect for your elders, bitch. Like that's how
No, fuck those people.
They're like 10 years older than her.
Yeah, right.
What are you talking about?
Elders.
I'm just kidding.
Elders.
I'm just saying.
Here's the thing. I'm 50-50 about the issue of saving space for your family for a parade.
Yeah.
Like, I get it. And maybe if you have a stroller that you can use to do that or a blanket, maybe I'll respect you.
Maybe.
But just open air of a curb or standing,
The
you know how that
way
should have gone?
I see it is you
ahead.
try and you say, hey, we're saving this for family. And if people are like, no, you're not, then it's like, okay, no, I'm not.
Yeah. Or they could have both been respectful humans and be like, oh, you know what? We have family coming. And the other person go, I'm just one person. Can we try?
Right.
We can try to make it work. When are they going to get here? That's the fucking way to do this and be adults, you assholes.
Yeah.
I've
From the
done
very
that.
beginning. Yeah.
I've been thinking about this phenomenon a lot, and it just seems like this country has lost a sense of neighborliness. It's just neighborliness. Like we do not see
It's
people
entitlement.
as people
You're not
anymore.
wrong.
It's just entitlement.
You're not wrong. But what we constantly see here is people from certain states, certain inclinations, and certain age groups.
Oh, that's the driving force.
Yeah.
That is the driving
Because
force.
when-
Like the rot is coming
Right.
from one specific
Or
demographic.
when their hair leader acts this way, they feel they can act this way too. So
Right.
Exactly. It's
They're
a cultural
of a generation.
rot.
And it's a
Yeah.
generational thing, and this is a grand sweeping generalization. So take it as that.
absolutely.
That you have a couple of generations, boomers and the greatest generation before them, who pretty much got everything they wanted, and were never told no, and and we're have a certain expectation of, like you said, Sarah. There's a little truth to what you said of like when you get to a certain age, people younger than you should listen to you, and it's like. No, it is your job as the elder to create community with the people below you, you dipshits.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
And not, but that's where what Nathan said comes into play. You know, I'm
But
not
you're
going to
right,
assume
Janine.
that
Yeah.
they're conservative Republicans from
From Alabama.
Alabama,
Yeah,
but-
they're the.
It's
yeah,
Auburn,
they're the,
Alabama.
Yeah, I'm sure they're the two
Democrats.
The two.
The two progressives.
Weirdly, they
that
were
listen to this
socialists. They were
podcast.
Antifa. What we know about the situation is that was Antifa. Antifa on the main street. That's Antifa.
Yeah.
Antifa's causing trouble on Main Street, USA.
So
That's where you pick up your card, you guys. Go to Main Street, USA, where you pick up your little Antifa card.
Go to guest services. They'll know what you mean.
I know this
They'll
because
know
I was
exactly what
I
you're
was
talking
on Craigslist and it said we are looking for Antifa people to show up to the parade.
For violence.
For,
Yeah.
Yes, for
So,
violence.
a message to our listeners: when you're at a park, be a human being, for Christ's sakes. Like, the parks are crowded and horrible and hard to do enough. You know, if it's a couple that gets to the parade late with their kid and the kid can't see, let them put them on their shoulders, even if the kid's in front of you. Just, you're fine. You'll see the show. You'll still enjoy it.
You'll
Like,
live.
you'll live, for Christ's sake. Everybody treats it like you need this. It's entitlement. It's a lot of things. But it's like, more importantly, this used to be a communal thing that we all did together and enjoyed. And so, oh, yeah, let me move over a little bit. Here, you can go here.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
It's that whole mentality of like first culture and that entitlement and making sure that you
It's
get
the
the
I
best
don't
view,
owe
the best-
anyone anything.
Exactly.
And I
And it's-
hate that attitude because it came
It
from
is
like
so stupid.
this
Yeah.
like self-help world where people were like
Bootstrappy.
it's like the pendulum has swung
It's individuality
so
to
far.
its like extreme.
Right.
Yeah.
It's awful. It's awful.
I'm gonna get mine, and I don't care if you get yours.
And
that's,
it's-
like
yeah.
not how to
I
live. It's
paid
not a
for
way to
my
live.
ticket. I should get an unobstructed view.
Yeah.
I will
Not
say,
But it's like you're there with millions of people, so be fucking respectful and not a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but I will say on that point that Disney has not helped not heighten this problem. Disney has created an atmosphere that is intrinsically trying to push out lower income and middle class people from going to the parks. They don't want their money.
And-
they're not interested in pass holders. And they said, no. This is going to be the most expensive experience possible. We only want... And so what you get is two types of people. You get those who have script and saved and have got money on the credit card to make it happen. And so they need it to be the best day of their life because they're going to be
Yeah.
paying for it
That's
for the
all
rest
they're
of
gonna
them. And you have others who, like, this is their 8th trip to Disney, and I'm getting balloons because I put fingers up.
why are there balloons?
Because you do that. It's
So,
that's a Mac thing.
yeah, apparently. Why are you doing that, Mac? This
not
is
doing it
we're
for
not doing
me.
it on Mac.
You can,
I should have
It's just
turned
the
it off.
Mac camera. I
the Mac
think.
camera. If you have an M2 or M1 Mac,
I
not
have
an
an
Intel.
something.
Yeah, so that's
Well, guess what?
It's
You're
not
not as
for
cool
me.
as me.
and
no, I didn't
oh wait,
do
and if
it.
you do devil horns, you get lasers.
Double-
Do that. Do,
Really?
No, like this. Do this. Do like rock and roll horns.
This is terrible
Oh. Like-
audio.
No,
this is terrible.
rock and roll
This is hang loose.
like this.
This is the devil's sign. I can't do the devil. This is
Watch.
terrible
No
audio. I know
lasers.
we're visual now, but this is terrible audio for our
I know,
podcast
I know,
listeners.
it's terrible audio.
All right.
Terrible
I
audio.
know. So
Sorry,
anyway-
guys.
Sorry, y'all.
Sorry, we
Go
got carried
watch
away.
us.
Sorry. Anyway, I was making a point, and then I held up 2 fingers, and I got balloons. So that's what happened on my filter screen. But the point being, right, you have people that are super rich, and they don't give a shit, and they've been there 8 times, and they can go anywhere, and they're like, why can't I get whatever I want? I'll just buy it. And you have the people that are scripting and saving. And you're creating an atmosphere that does not suggest you have the time and the ability to ride what you need to ride and enjoy the day you need to enjoy. It's breezy. It should be okay. They have made it a system that is harder to do, more money to make it simpler. Like, it is the worst possible cultural system for a theme park, and that's what they decided.
Yeah, they've in addition to the like you just touched upon it. In addition to the financial caste system of it being expensive, it is also an informational caste system of how to do it and Genie Plus and figuring it out. And it's stressful. And so
Who
on
wants to
one
say,
hand,
like Mr. Claff at 80, almost 80 years old, like he's having a hard time with everything being on a fucking app.
right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
My heart goes out to him. Sure. For that
But you
reason,
shouldn't be kicking people's ass.
but there's with all that, with everybody's going through the same shit at those parks, so you know,
Exactly.
have some kindness,
Yeah, absolutely.
please.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know what? We got to zen out. We talked about all these terrible Beware Our Guests segments. So we're going to go to the Astuter Computer Poem of the Week.
That's why I'm a router for the computer. Everybody needs a friend.
Okay. Oh, we need it. Here we go. Let's see here. Astuter is sitting over here to my right. He's a little camera shy, but Astuter, I've asked Astuter if he could write a little poem. Let's see. Could you maybe a little something about the rubber duck situation on the cruise ship? What about that? Let's see. What do we got? Rubber ducks set sail, hidden joys face removal, cruise rules, quack discord.
Love that.
That's a good
That's
one.
pretty good. Thank you,
was a
Stu.
nice
I
one.
appreciate it. He's blushing a little bit. It's cute. So we love you. Okay. With that, we're going to wrap up. Rat Castle, of course, is produced by me, Nathan Hartman. And these beautiful faces, of course, are on the pod, and we'd love to see them, and we're excited for you to see them. Subscribe on podcast or on YouTube now at youtube.com/ratcastlepod. like and subscribe. Click. And you can find us on, what did we say? Sarah, where are the other ones? Let's see. TikTok.
We are on TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, all of them. Twitter, baby. We are everywhere. Come check us out. Come talk to us. We are there.
Yeah, and we're having some good interactions already with people. So join up. We'd love to have you. And you can, of course, go to ratcastle.com to go and see all of our links, including merch and all sorts of business. So with that, and the first time visually, grab your belongings and exit to the... Wait, which side is left on the camera? My left? Is this left?
This is left.
An exit to the left!
Wherever.
It ain't it.
Will you stop this foolishness?
What foolishness would you like to see?
Will you get out of here?